Alright guys, feeling here, back with more.
This game is a bad
AC
relationship, okay?
3.
But all of the people playing,
Listening to
they
the
forgot
Saturday
that they were
Roundtable
supposed
from
to go home
RHAP, you know?
and learn from the
But yeah, we're
mistakes
continuing
and then
on.
enter a new
I don't remember what we're
relationship
doing.
and
We just
change
started
things
Sequence
based on
10,
those
right? So
mistakes.
we're
But
in New York.
instead, they're just getting right back into that bad relationship again.
Yeah, you know, it's
So,
sometime
I don't know how much we're gonna record tonight. I'm tired already. It's like, what, 11:30, I think? Oh, fuck, it's almost midnight. 11:52. But, yeah, so essentially, today, what I did today, I woke up a bit late, but I had to run an errand early today, and also got a haircut for the first time since the pandemic, like a full haircut, for the first time since the pandemic. Again, I'm kind of like trimmed things here over time, but I got first full haircut in a while, so that happened. But then had to go to work, went in at 1, got home around 11. Here we are. I didn't do much outside of work today. I did do some schedule readjusting for my other channel. Nothing too major. I mean, really what it was is just like filling out spots that I kind of forgot to do. Like I essentially put in spots for like Big Brother Canada, Big Brother Canada 9, which we know is happening next year. I put placeholder video dates for the Survivor 41 and 42. Actually, I think I already did 41, but I think I added 42, just in case it happens. Yeah, if it doesn't, whatever, I just take them off and replace those videos. But for now, kept this on. I also did do,
But the soldiers themselves are
what
told
was the other thing I did? Big Brother 23, also put those on, so that's what I did there. That's about it. My Dreamcasting Survivor Legends, Dreamcasting Survivor Legends video came out today, which performed well, but not as well as I would have liked. I think something I'm realizing now, and to be honest, something I kind of realized, but I think this pretty much confirms it, is I just think appeal for Survivor right now is pretty low. I think without hype around Survivor 41 right now, where like we just don't know when it's gonna happen. I think without that, I mean, I already noticed that my general Survivor videos that typically do like 150 views a day, those have dropped to less. Like season rankings down to like around 100. My winner ranking I think is down to like 60. Like they're doing less than what they were. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that there's no real hype for Survivor right now. And yeah, I think my Dreamcasting video is kind of indicative of that. It is performing better than, like it is number 1 on my last 10 videos. Like it is performing better than the one-time player ranking. But I mean, like even in comparison to the non-winning one-time player video that I did, it's below that. I mean, like it's doing. I think it's at like 4,000 something views right now after about 12 hours.
Maybe what you did in your game that you can work on and improve on.
Let's see,
and so that's why
it
it's
is
kind of
at
sad to see,
4,101 views, which is 600 views ahead of my top 10 one-time player video, which is fine, but it's not great. I mean, like, it's not as great as what my videos used to do, and really, I think, like, it's kind of, it's like my channel's performing now how it should. Again, like before it was performing well above what I should have been performing considering the amount of subscribers I had. Now it feels like it's performing about adequate. Mind you, I mean this video is going to get like 8,000 views. Like because like it's ahead of my one-time player video, which got like 6,000 something, 6,600 views or something like that. So it's like it is going to end up doing well. Like, it's definitely not a bomb video, but this is a video that should have, like, based on how my previous videos perform, like, based on how, like, the trends with my channel, this should have been a better performing video. Like, this should have been a video on pace to do 12,000 or more, but instead it's doing probably like 7 to 8, which is still good, but, like, not as good as what it would have done, I think. And because I have thought about adjusting the schedule on some Survivor videos, but I think I'm going to keep it as is for now. I don't. I mean, mind you, this was an adjustment. This was supposed to come out next week. I ended up swapping this with Brood Vine Tribes, but
Well, they should have come by sea.
Talking in circles.
Whoa, somebody
Well, nothing
finally
watching as
figured
we
it
are.
out.
Then what do you
Memphis is
propose we
running
do?
the
March in
house.
there and
That's
demand
not-
answers?
That's not a reveal.
Well,
That's called
yes.
numbers and math.
He's on the block and he's like, I figured them out. And he's like,
Connor?
wow, he has so much
Little help
potential.
here?
Let's bring him back again, guys.
Nope. It should have
Leave
been
the
for
commanders
like a
alive,
second
Connor.
chance. I think there need to be
We
like
can
a second
interrogate
chance
them.
season or something like that.
Okay.
But they would have been good for that. I mean, I think there were so many players that didn't really get to show their potential. But I think playing with the
Fuck, let me
all-star
fucking
team,
do that.
put them in the house for, you know, many, many days, weeks, months, and, you know, playing with them when you
Fuck.
don't really get to play that much, it's hard to compete. But, you know, maybe there's
yeah, as I said, not much else to update on. Wait, what?
Come close to winning some competitions.
What?
Maybe once he wins the competition, I know that's one thing he keeps, like, you know, I think talking
Was I
about.
not supposed to kill them?
I will prove myself in this game once I win a competition. So maybe once David wins a competition, maybe that,
I'm so
like,
confused.
it would be really
Oh,
interesting
those
to
three I'm not supposed to kill. Okay.
But right now, I think I agree with, you know, Mr. Jarlath.
Yeah, work wasn't actually that bad other than it being long. I'm expecting tomorrow to be much worse though, but we'll see. Hopefully it's not.
Still hanging out in the low tier. She hasn't dropped to bottom tier, but she is still second to last on this list. Not doing too well. No real movement here for Nicole Anthony as she's out of the game and Jordan is in playing this time around. Serena.
Yeah, she's fine right there. I think that's upper lane. Hero, I'm just like,
So I see the TikTok.
you have it. You should be able to stay. Yeah, you should. You should. There's like a black and white scene. It's a scene with like words that she doesn't call. And I'm just like, you know, that could actually, in my opinion, drop her
There we
down.
go.
But I think low tier is right where she belongs.
Should we send them to the TikTok for next week? Is that
Yes.
important information? Okay.
Bring them back to my
Yeah.
course at Fort George and see what secrets they might share.
TikTok.
Oh no. I mean,
Really?
I think that.
Well, you'd best get after him then.
You go. I will watch the prisoners.
No, you do it.
Why me?
Because I said so. Now go.
Underdog one season, and maybe not the best player, but like you're fine. You have a couple good reads, and then don't
I
be
remember I
sad
hated this mission too when I
you
first
find
played
out
the
that
game.
you weren't actually that great of a player. Just be happy that you got to play.
Look, for a brief moment of time, you got to feel like you were a good player. I don't know. So I was trying to do the be happy you loved and lost. but-
Yeah, is there? I don't know if there's like a thing
Come
where
on.
you should just say, look, if
Got him.
you're America's favorite player, like just take that.
I forgot, is
Move.
sequence 10
and
short?
call it a day. Yeah,
I
call
said
it a day
move.
because it's only gonna go down from here. Like
Unless
even
you're
if you
Janelle.
win, right? But
I think it is, right? We should be able to do this in one episode.
You know?
Right?
Wait,
Yeah.
wait.
Well, I
I
think
might
I'll
be
tell
out
you
wrong on that.
anything
I'm
you
not
want.
entirely sure.
America's favorite.
Anything,
You were like,
only
I'm
don't.
We just have some
there.
questions for you.
Cross that threshold, and I'm a dead man.
There you are,
Alright,
Connor.
so
I was worried you might have
above
gotten
Nicole
lost.
Anthony remains
Come on,
Kevin
then.
Campbell, who is sitting here. Actually, we did see a shift here. I mean, Kevin Campbell moving up a little bit.
I think Kevin Campbell
still
should
in the
win.
same spot, but his score has improved. We seem to be on a potential upward trajectory for Kevin Campbell, which I do think. I feel like I've been saying this every week. I do feel like he's got that underdog edit potential. He sticks around long enough.
Yeah, he sticks around to the final 7. He could be like, okay, guys, Memphis made a 6-person alliance.
I'm not kidding about this, guys. It's going to happen to one of these people.
But that's not it. If that happens, then they should be dropped to even lower tier because it took them that long.
Sure, but the audience doesn't care. I'm
Who are we doing this for? But yeah, I think he's increased a bit for some
Yeah, I mean, not really much else to update on. Big Brother was interesting today, from what I followed. Does look like Bailey's going home at this point.
I mean, I think Kevin has kind of been perceived as a pawn, but you know, I think he's integrating to the house a bit more. But you know, I still know that it seems like
What are
this
the
is
British
really,
planning?
really tough for Kevin. I think
To
maybe it was
march
like
from
last
Philadelphia.
Saturday. I
That
woke
city's
up, watched the
finished.
feeds, and
New
I saw
York's
Kevin
the
talking to himself and
They'll
his
double on
husband.
us.
He was also
Push
pretending to
back
talk to
the
Cody, I
rebels.
think.
When do they
And you know,
begin?
he was talking about just really like how he's
2
not
days
really,
from now.
you know,
June
fitting and
18th.
meshing with this
I must
school
warn
idea
Washington.
of Big Brother. I think
See?
he's gotten to a
That
point
wasn't so very
for
difficult now,
Kevin
was it?
where he's like, you know, I'm not used
I've
to,
told
you
you
know,
everything.
spreading all these lies and doing all
Now
these,
let me go.
you know,
Of course.
things that all these new schoolhouse guests do. So I think it's very difficult for him to come in, you know,
The other two
many
said the
seasons
same. It must be
later
true.
and play a
You
new
killed him.
style of the game.
You
And
killed all
I
of them.
think
Why?
it's just been
They'd have warned the
difficult
loyalists.
and emotional.
You could
for
have
him
held
to
them until the
process.
fight was done.
What?
But you know, it seems
was
like
precious
things are
time and
slightly
money on their
improving,
care.
but
What would
yeah,
be the point?
I'm not too
They've
sure,
given up
but
everything they knew.
I do see a little bit of.
I'll
growth.
meet you at Valley Forge.
Yes. So, above Kevin, last week we had Christmas who managed to hit the middle tier. This week, Christmas has tarnished her legacy and has dropped back down
Really?
into the low tier. People are not pleased with Christmas.
Actually, now I think about it, this
trying-
is a longer
trying
sequence
to
than I
cancel
remembered. Because I
Christmas,
forgot we also have
guys.
this stupid,
And,
this is the last victory
when
of
Christmas
Kanto,
says
or
things
whatever.
like, "Oh, I'm going to get shot when I nominate Bailey and Devon," I think you might understand why.
I think low tier is still a little bit iffy. I mean, her first season, guys, she had a broken foot and she won a race, a foot race. That doesn't make any sense. The fact that she won an HOH right now by doing nothing is, I guess, equivalent.
It's on par
But-
with Christmas.
Yes, I still think, like, you know, she has been playing a relatively good game. She hasn't been a target. She hasn't been on anybody's hit list. She's made good connections. Her and Tyler are going to the end. I can 100% see Christmas sitting at the end of this game. And I don't know if that's really... I mean, maybe it is lowest tier status. She's just, like, going to lose again anyway. But... I don't know.
Yeah, it's incredible that, like, Bailey is actually doing
relatively
worse on this season than she did her first time
I think
somehow.
she's been playing fine as
It's like she had so much potential to do
as
better.
I don't know what the word I'm looking for. A minion? I don't know. As a lackey? Like, I'm not exactly sure what I'm going for here. But, like, until
fuck.
I hear people in the house
Oh, I fucking hate this.
mention, wow, Christmas is actually doing well. Or like, oh, I could see voting for Christmas. Until I hear that, I feel like everyone is relatively on the same page about, like, even though she's definitely playing better, we're still keeping her as a, you know, as a goat or as a person that we can get rid of later or whatever. I just don't see... I do think she's playing much better than her first time, but her first time I would put her at, like, below the lowest bottom tier here. So I feel like she's definitely
I
improved,
mean, Christmas
but I
almost
just
wins
don't
that
know if
season.
anything that
Like,
she's doing,
if
she
Christmas
still
got
has
to the
an
end of
idea like,
Paul, Christmas
how
wins
can
that
she
season.
win, though? Now, I know this is about legacy, and so that's not exactly the same thing. So,
Well, I think the estimation of her game she's been steadily rising throughout the season.
sure.
I actually personally am of the opinion that Christmas has played well this week. I
Yeah.
think, but I agree that her legacy should drop. I don't think she's playing well enough that that her legacy is like immune to her behavior, if that makes sense.
And that's the thing, it's like, it's part of the reason why I do feel like it's an okay thing, except for when she volunteers to go on the block, to, like, buy stock in her. Like, I think that she's playing decently well. I think her relationships are fine, but just when I think of,
Ah, fuck.
if she makes it far into this game and gets put up and taken out easily because, hey, we were all just hanging around for her for this moment, or if she gets to the end and loses, or gets to the final three and then sacrifices her path to the end again like she did last time, if she does that, to me her legacy is almost
Well, yeah, we're
even
about to
worse,
get
because,
to
like,
what
you
is my
played
least
better,
favorite
and yet
mission in
you
the
still
entire
didn't
game.
understand what you
And I
needed to
fucking
do
hated this
to win
mission.
the game, or to
Um,
change anything. Like, she's
the first time through the
definitely
game,
playing
and even on the
better,
replay,
and I'll give her
this,
that, but I'm
like
just not
on
sure
the
when it
playthrough I
comes to
did, this
legacy,
fucked
like,
me up, right?
has she changed
Because,
other
like, I mean,
people's
mind you, that
image
was
of
when I was
her
playing with a broken
as
controller.
being just
Because I
a
only had
loyal
my other
soldier.
controller, which was,
Yeah,
Yeah, I feel like she's
both in the
kinda-
house and out of it.
one of the
Yes,
sticks
sticking to
wasn't
the
working,
status
or the
quo,
left
doing
stick, I
what
think, wasn't
she's
working properly,
done
right?
in the past, and
So, like,
you know,
I wouldn't be able to,
in
like,
her
build
first
momentum on the
season,
horse.
She also did
But then on
some
my speedrun, I
problematic
got it
things
first
when she
try,
was following
which
Paul
I
to
remember
Dominique.
thinking,
You know, so like this
finding
is
funny.
like
So, I mean, we should be able to do it
continuous
first
narrative
try
that
here
I'm
because we
keeping
don't,
Christmas. And so,
like, because I have a
you know,
fully
when I
functioning
was
controller.
in the beginning of the season, I was
But,
like,
still.
actually Christmas is
Still hate
improving
this
with
machine.
the social game, and I'm feeling very impressed by Christmas. But it's like, you know, saying you're worried about getting shot when we have seen that Christmas has a record. You know, I didn't really mean to bring that up, but I just feel like it's a little hypocritical to say things like that when, you know, have certain things that you've done. And so I just, in that regard, it's just like hard for me to have respect. And then also she was like, yeah, I'll go on the block as the replacement nominee. And
Also,
it's
like,
stuff
just
like
like,
that.
I'm pretty sure I'm right about this, but one of them has a gun tattoo.
Yeah,
And it's not
look,
Bailey.
Right. I mean, the thing is, when it comes to Legacy and when it comes to like playing well, I mean, in her first game, she didn't have a horrible social game. She actually had a relatively good one. I mean, she had pair with Josh, and she was good with Paul and whatever. So she had a fine social game her first time, and it's definitely better this time. And she's won a couple comps because she's not injured, and that's great. But I still see her as that same person who thinks the game is about
Best mission in the game.
being
Should be sharing what we know with the league,
you
not
know,
washing
playing
it.
for
You
the
seem to
team
think I
and being the
favor
one
him,
willing
but
to
my
go on
enemy
the
is a
block
notion,
and,
not a nation.
and it's just for me,
It is
like
wrong
I
to compel obedience,
lost
whether to the British crown
my
or the
legacy
Templar cross.
respect for her.
And I hope in
when
time the
she,
loyalists will see this too,
you
for they
know,
are also victims.
told
You
Josh,
oppose
hey,
tyranny,
don't take me to the end because I wouldn't
injustice.
take you. You know, if you
These
win the
are
cup.
just
When she said that at
symptoms.
Final
Their
Three,
true
like that
cause
for me
is
was
human
like,
weakness.
okay, this is a person
Why do you think I
who
keep
does
on
not care
trying
about
to
what
show
we
you
need.
the error of your
And
way?
You have said much,
while I think
yes.
she's definitely
But
doing
you have
better this
shown
time, and
nothing.
there may have been
Then we'll have to
you know,
remedy
extra
that, then, won't
factors
we?
on her last season or on season 19 for her to do that. I'm just not sure that I'm still in a
Sir.
position thinking that she's going to
Hello,
actually
Connor.
turn it
What
around.
brings you
and
here?
Not just
The
Who
British
voices
have
Connor
recalled their
again?
men in
It's,
Philadelphia. They marched
Barbara
for New
Atkins
York.
down, whatever the fuck his name is, right?
Very well.
The guy that
Moving
voices,
our forces to Monmouth. If we can rout them, we'll have finally turned the
Luxord.
tide.
What's
Oh,
this?
sorry.
Private
Oh,
correspondence.
of course it is. Would you like to know what it says, Connor? It seems your good friend here has just ordered an attack on your village. Although attack might be putting it mildly.
About it, but
Well, tell him, Commander.
these players care a lot.
We've been receiving reports of Allied natives
Like,
working
they
with
are
the British.
playing in this house
I've asked my men to put a
protect
stop
their
to it.
legacies, to build
By
upon
burning their
legacies.
villages and assaulting the
And
land,
with
by
that in
calling for their
mind,
extermination,
I think it's
according to this
worth
letter.
talking about,
Not the
like,
first time
how
either.
terribly they are
Tell them
playing
what you
in
did
that regard.
14 years ago.
Christmas
That was
comes
another
in with a
time.
legacy of
The
being
7
a
Years
big
War.
follower, and I do not believe
And so
that
now
she
you
has done
see
well
what happens to this great
persuade
man
the
when under
audience that
duress.
that's not her
He
game.
makes excuses, displaces
she
blame, does a
constantly
great
talks about
many
people, and I
things, in
think
fact,
that's good for her
except take
game.
responsibility.
Inside the house, but it's not good for her legacy.
Who did what and why must wait? My people come first.
Exactly.
Here's the reason
Then let's be
why
off.
me
No.
volunteering for the block was somehow
You and I are
a really
finished.
good move
Son.
to build my legacy,
You
to
think
prove
me
that
so
I'm an
soft
all-star, but I'm
that
just
by calling me
hearing, "Oh,
son,
can't
I might
wait to
change
win
my mind."
cups, to be a
How
team
long did you
player,
sit
and
on
to
this
help my
information, or am I to
team,
believe you
and,
discovered
I'll
it
go on
now?
the block for my
My
team,
mother's
and
blood
she
may
knows,
stain
she
another's
knows deep
hands,
down
but
inside
Charles Lee is
that
no
I-
less a monster, and all he does by your command.
Again, this is dumb. Like the fact that he like is just angry and
Choose to
hate
follow
them.
me or
For
oppose
almost
me,
no
and I
reason.
will kill you.
Like I think this is the one like
Where I'm just like,
flaw with the
putting a
writing that I
feeling
I
on
100 like
not a
that like
big
people bring out when they say
focus
Connor's a terrible character that I do
wanna make that
100% agree
get
with.
them
Like
out
this is just
because
dumb.
they might be famous for their team,
Um,
but I don't really
Like I
believe
get
that
why
it's
he's still anti Charles Lee. Like it makes sense that he is. But the fact that he's like so angry at his dad here makes no fucking sense.
Alright, well.
Alright, so let's
next up,
not fuck it up, but then I'm fucking it up
this
already.
time in the middle tier, we have Bailey, who has dropped below Keisha, Memphis, and Devon.
Oh really?
The bottom of the middle tier. It's actually not a big drop for Bailey points-wise. It's actually a very, very minor drop. It's just that she was very close to them before,
fuck? Oh my god, I hate this mission so fucking much.
Bailey, what's been going on with her this week, what's been going on with her and Devon as a pair, and as individuals, and their blog, and I mean, you know, even, you know, we brought it up that she would even, you know, willingly or not willingly, you know, give the option to, like, sway a jury, you know, so we're bringing up things from her past season that could, you know, potentially keep her here, which I don't think it will, but could keep her here.
Let's
for
reload the gun.
certain reasons,
Just as a way to stun him,
same exact
potentially.
thing.
Because if you know, like,
Then again,
but this is the part of the mission that sucks, is the taking the guy out before he reaches the village.
Down to, you know, being in your humble spot, it's definitely sad to see family there, because, you know, as I said, I was rooting for her full force, in the last few weeks, so, yeah, I
Okay.
for Bailey.
I mean, it's so weird too. Like on Thursday, we had this really cool moment where she was taking the braids out of her hair, and it's that's kind of like going to be, I think, probably like the last,
We got it.
you know, like peaceful, like happy moments of
Alright.
Bailey's day.
There we
in
go.
the Big
We
Brother,
did it.
Probably forever. But it was such a cool,
should
such a
make
great
sure the
moment.
village
I
is
think a
safe.
good moment to end on too.
So yeah, we got it first try.
Especially when we're talking about legacy.
Fuck this mission, though.
It didn't get aired. I mean, it happened right before the live show. I'm guessing it's not going to be aired now because there's lots of other stuff to air. But it was fun. It was good. Live feeds wise, I liked it at least.
Something I never thought I would actually see on the Big Brother live feeds, but it was nice to see. You know, I think other people getting involved in that because it is a huge process to take down the breed. So it was cool to kind of see people, you know, come together to support Bailey in that sense. But of course, you know, so much has happened since then that. You know, it's unfortunate, but I think it was something I was never expecting to personally see, just because, I don't know, you know, I feel like when I've seen, like, Devon, she's usually doing that sort of stuff herself, like, when she's been in the house in the past, so it was cool, it was different, I was actually quite surprised.
Also, I'm an idiot. Of course they're going to air it. They need to explain why your hair is different.
Well, they
Oh,
might,
do
you
they?
know, I think recently it's been good to see that Big Brother is starting to show these important discussions, so I actually wouldn't be surprised if they randomly fit that in the segment tomorrow. I think I wouldn't be too surprised to see it.
Yeah, I
think because
I was very wrong. I fully expect to see it in tomorrow night's episode.
Zaksewe, nekti
Alright,
ohmujera.
so
Wakka
above
tunju hue
Bailey,
dokatiiko oja
we've got
mungue ajezenesege.
Keisha.
Keisha,
Giga Oya
who was
Rungwe.
dropped
Te
below
ohne
Memphis,
kujes Charles
and
Lee.
Devon.
Nuona tukka jassako
Keisha,
ja tohawe kono
actually
togu dano dohkara
went up a
mihadi.
little
Na
bit
hoda?
this
Ka
week.
nungwe niya honenu.
Just a very, very
Waktessako
small amount.
didastana
But I
sini
think
hadi
she's
ayun
starting
kiuhun
to a little bit rebound. Starting to be like, maybe not being on the
Yeah,
season is
yeah,
actually a
it's
good thing for my
Karigoye.
legacy. So,
Ona jera di desa
so that's where
ikuhare.
Keisha's gonna
Jakon
talk too
tattesa
much about
duhun
Keisha.
toni ne giga ne ayagoderio.
Above Keisha,
Ontia Sjagane. Ke domzohun takedaste.
we have
Or Danny?
Danny
Yeah.
dropping down from the upper tier, below Memphis, below Devon. Danny down in the middle tier. In the preseason, Danny was number 3 behind Janelle and Tyler in the top tier, and she has fallen far now in the middle of the middle tier here for Danny. It's been a rough week for her. I think her reputation has been suffering all season long, in terms of like how she's been behaving, and then over the last week, her game has been tanking as well. And I think her legacy is finding that it has no legs to stand on here, Mary.
It's weird when talking about legacy for Danny because she's such a different person and player this time than she was in the
Is she?
past. And I love I love a lot of what Danny did on her previous seasons. And finding myself forgetting that it's the same person, which speaks, I think, to the
I
Dragon
don't.
Legacy. And I don't know if that's just time away, if it's you're playing so
Oh, fuck off.
hard and kind of differently. I mean, there's elements that are similar to her games in the past, but I think that she came in really wanting to play so hard and just not realizing that people were gonna see through it and talk. And then of course there's everything you talked about with her reputation as well. So all of those things combined, I get it. I don't think that she's down and out. Like I could see her rising up a little bit, possibly, depending on how things happen. But she's gonna have to do a lot of damage control. Yeah, it's not looking great here. Danny. Not looking great. Okay, alright. Above Danny, we've got Memphis, who's fallen behind Devon this week. Memphis did rise a little bit in the points here, but overall is still at around a similar spot in the middle tier. Again, small bump for Memphis, I think, continuing to just kind of like chill in the background, is doing wonders for both his game and his reputation, at least. I think that Memphis remains a wild card, both in the game and legacy-wise. I think a lot of it is going to come down to, is he able to
I just found out what I said.
right
Then Charles.
in the back half of the game when he starts really playing Serena.
Yeah, I mean, from what I've seen from Memphis so far, yeah, he's a little bit of a grumpy old special. Also, it's really fun to see his like old school mentality, like all for one, one for all, whatever. Like he wants to win the game for himself. He knows that it's not an actual team game, and I wish that some of these other players would play like that, especially this season, just because of, you know, all of the different years that they come from, and the fact that it's a little bit boring overall. But yeah, I mean, mid-tier seems pretty standard and accurate for Memphis.
Yeah. All right. Well, above Memphis, we've got Devon in the middle tier, close to the upper tier. She's nearly there. A big jump for Devon. She was at the close to the bottom of the middle tier and made a big jump forward all the way to the top, nearly reaching the upper tier this week.
Crap. So where are we going now?
I'm honestly not entirely
down here.
sure what's changed exactly for Devon. I mean, I think
she's the
that
underdog now.
perhaps the almost HOH win, the fact that she's being targeted, that's I think also probably I would guess is that for a long time people have thought that Devon was the one that was going to go and not Bailey. And now that Devon is going to stay, we've seen their positions kind of flip, and so now Devon is ahead of Bailey in the Legacy Watch, and Bailey has fallen. But either way, Devon is now at the top of the middle tier, just knocking on the door of the upper tier. I remain of the opinion that this is criminally low.
This is the final mission, right?
Probably the most iconic the enemy is allowed to push through. And who I like, despite the fact that she hasn't made it very far in the game ever, is still one of the biggest names, is still a glorious victory player.
Where is Charles
That's
Lee?
a legacy, but the audience is disagreeing with me
I
thus
believe this
far.
is the end of sequence 10, so we might as well just do it this episode.
Screams at everyone.
I might go one more, and then get ourselves in a position to finish the game tomorrow. The problem tomorrow that I kind of forgot about is that Big Brother's on tomorrow, so I'll have to watch the episode. Which means that we probably won't get around the recording until like probably midnight.
that.
So it's like at that point, it's like, would I really still
I will
want
hold
to
the area
record
while
for
you
like
bring
2
them to
hours to
safety.
finish the game? Probably not. So I think we'll try to do at least one more episode here.
I grant you my finest
After.
soldiers to serve as your personal guard. There is nothing they will not do to ensure you.
I got about 30 minutes left of the
So I
podcast.
think
too,
that,
so,
you know,
Mon ami.
potentially, this is a good thing for Davon's game.
well, I
Unfortunately,
got 30 minutes as of now. So just
but I think that, you know, potentially going with this woman is actually like
it's such a fucking dumb mission.
you know, they just need to win some more comps, and then they could potentially do some damage. But I think because, you know, Faye is having that momentum,
should slow them
you know,
down.
she was really good in that one comp. The only reason she lost was probably because she had something out of that moment and clearing out, you know, that was probably just
We'll
like,
push these redcoats
you know,
back
the
yet.
nerves getting to her. But I definitely think that there's potential to see, you know, an increase today. Now, I think when it comes
Bought
to
us
the
some
legacy,
time, sir.
I think that Day, like when she gets out of the house, I think she's still gonna have the love and constant support that she always has. I think that she's probably one of the more well-liked house guests that are in that house right now, and I don't think her legacy is going to be tarnished in that regard. But I do think that
We'll push these redcoats back yet.
they're really trying to, because this is sort of like they're trying to go on the basis of the gameplay, and I
slow
think
them down.
over what we've seen is that, you know, the Davon that we've seen in those early games of no, you know, Mark and being able to,
This is so boring.
it's not really working in her favor right now. So I think there's a lot of people to give her that good upper tier
We'll
right
push these
now,
redcoats
but
back
it'll
yet.
be interesting to see, you know, if she does survive this eviction, if she's able to win HOH, or if, you know, she actually does
That should
win
slow
it,
them down.
or how that's going to play for her. When you have something like the Legacy Rush, I do think it is
We'll
always
push these
a big
redcoats
of, like,
back yet.
how much does being a good player factor in versus being a good character, being a memorable person, because many people in Big
That
Brother
should slow
history
them
I
down.
consider to be like legends of the game, whether or not they were good or whether or not how far they got into
Yeah, let you know.
I think it's definitely in that area. I think that she's playing better this time as well, which is probably partially due to that. But I agree
Is
with
she?
you about the gift and everything. It's like, to me, there's only so far that she
Bought
can
us some
run.
time, sir.
She's still going to have that and be that memorable thing.
I actually think she probably played better than she has.
Push these redcoats back yet.
Actually, I don't know. That's probably not true, actually. Now that I think about it even more. Like, I think she was definitely more integrated in the majority
Bought us some
of the
time,
team,
sir.
but I think she maybe...
Janelle's in the Pantheon. We're talking gameplay. I mean, she's made
Exactly. That's just telling you.
That should slow them down.
everything. Alright. So above Davon, we've got
How did I miss?
who has fallen
Oh,
below
do that now.
Nicole Franzel. He actually had a
How?
decent drop this week. I imagine.
Oh, that's Tyler.
We saw Cody being
We are low in
outplayed
ammunition,
by
sir,
Tyler,
and the enemy
getting very
advances.
frustrated,
Then we need to
getting
pull
put
back,
into a
rejoin the
corner.
others, and cover their
And
escape.
I think that I've been saying this
The last
all
victory I'll
season,
hand to him.
that the voters have just been waiting. They've just been waiting for Cody to slip up so that they could dock
This is
him
such a
points.
dumb
I
fucking
think this is what's
mission.
happening here.
These are
he's
really the
very-
worst missions
very
in the
close
game. All
to
these missions
falling
that
out of
involve...
the upper tier here.
oh, fuck off.
But
Whatever
he is
mission
going to
they
hold
were.
on.
Oh, come
ultimately, Serena.
on.
Yeah, I think this is fine. I just think, like, obviously he went to the end of his original season, in his alliances, and he's kind of played that same kind of mentality. It's this time that he's the one in charge, kind of, and he's the one that has the most say. Obviously, like you said, Tyler kind of outplayed him this week, or this past week, and he just needs to watch out for that concern for her, that he's the one that needs to be at the top tier, he's the one that needs to be controlling things, and he
Not
can't
following me?
necessarily rely on other people to give him what's in his best interest. I mean, if he did do that, he would need to be better partnership with Christmas, because she would do that. But Tyler's got Christmas in the bag, the Christmas bag, exactly.
Well done, my
But,
friend. You have
yeah, I
saved
think-
many
I think
lives today.
still, you know, I think he's maintaining pretty well.
Connor? Charles
Yes,
Lee
all
has
right.
betrayed you.
So,
He forced
above
retreat
Cody,
in the
we
midst
have
of battle, hoping the
Nicole,
loss would take the lives
who
of your men
is,
and
going
see
to
you relieved
remain
of your
almost
command.
exactly the same here.
What? I'm sure he will
No
come and
real
spin a
movement
tale
here
saying that he
for
was outnumbered or
Nicole. In the
I
upper
was somehow
tier,
to blame.
above
All
Nicole,
lies.
we
I will
have
say it one last
Enzo.
time. That man is
Oh,
your
sorry,
enemy,
no,
and
no,
he will
I
not
was wrong.
stop until you are dead
I
or
read it wrong.
dishonored.
It's not Enzo
Connor's
anymore.
tale rings true.
It's actually
Lee
Ian,
was acting
who has fallen
most
below
odd upon the
Enzo,
battlefield.
I will investigate these allegations at once.
Nicole Franzel.
The time for that is long
now,
past.
This is not a fall.
This must
for
be done
Ian.
properly,
It's actually
else we're no
a
better than those we
rise
oppose.
For Enzo.
Never mind the political
So,
ramifications of
so
such an
here we
act.
go. Ian here,
Should you choose to
Ian
spare
started
Lee's
in
life,
the preseason,
then I will take it
in
myself.
the top tier.
Enjoy
and has
your
been
victory,
steadily
Commander.
falling from there ever since.
It will be the last I deliver you.
And here he lands just above Nicole Franzel, Geneva.
Well, I guess when it comes to, Enzo specifically, I think he is generally in a, pretty good position. I don't think he really has too much trouble. He has a lot of people who like him. He has a lot of people who are working with him. I think we've seen that he doesn't necessarily have to, I guess, say too much right now, but also wants to make sure that he's good with everybody. And I think he just has a lot of, solid relationships and people have his back. And so I think that's really just going to help him.
Oh, I forgot about the modern day. I'm a
I know
fucking
that
idiot.
he obviously
Abstergo has your dad.
would potentially
Where?
be a big threat
Italy.
but
Same place
he
they were
is
holding
playing a
you.
solid game. He's won an
He was walking
waiting
down.
for? Let's
but
go.
I just think that there are
There's
other
more.
targets out there, and there are different pairs and different groups of people who I think are perceived as bigger threats, and I think he might just kind of slip under
Hello
and
again, Mr.
may
Miles.
prevail in the end,
I hope
depending
this
on
message
It's mess. I
finds you
completely
well,
forgot about the
far
modern
as
day.
well as it can,
if there
all
does
things
end up being
considered.
a dominant female
It
alliance
appears
that
we now
forms
each have
together
something
that
the
we're
other
starting to
desires.
see
I
potentially
propose
be
a
a thing,
trade.
then
Bring me
maybe
the apple,
Enzo's in
and I'll
trouble in
return your
that sort of
father to you
situation.
no worse for
But
the
right now,
wear.
I think he
Should
doesn't really have
refuse,
any
he will
huge
still be
issues with
returned,
anyone. I don't like
albeit
in
much
comparison to, I
worse
think,
for the wear.
Cody's having some
I
problems
assume
right
you'd
now.
like to
Tyler's
avoid
having
an
some issues with
unpleasant
his game right
outcome.
now, and so I just think that he's overall in a pretty decent spot where a lot of people like him.
I always knew it would
His
come to
social
this.
games is going pretty
Just not so
well,
soon.
Hey, why is the
I
audio
think
quality
that,
so
I wonder if
bad?
people are
Abstergo
willing
even
to
knows what's
protect
about to
him.
happen. And has this been a
I
part of
wanna
their
just
plan all
take
along?
back, half
Maybe they want the
what I
war
said
back.
about Enzo in my
To see it all
preseason
burned away.
thing, because
Then they'd have
he's
their
the
new
one who
world,
I've been the
ripe
most
for the
impressed with,
reshaping.
and I think just
We
'cause
talked
I
about
found
looking
the
for
whole
another power
brigade
source,
thing and all
leaving him
season
there.
12 to be kind of boring.
It's probably what
I
he'd
think
want,
that
for us to finish the mission.
is hitting
I
that
can't.
sweet spot
It's hard
of
enough taking a life, but letting one be
personality and
taken,
age,
knowing
where
there was
he's
something I could do about it,
I can be the
not a chance.
goofy
Might be
guy
I'm risking my
and
life,
not be
risking
taken
all
as
our lives
seriously, and yet
save an
actually
asshole.
starting to
But that
What am I
asshole.
supposed to do?
That asshole's
That
my
asshole.
dad.
nuggets
is my
of
dad.
real strategy that we saw with the brigade and doing so much more with it than I ever thought he was going to this season. I was afraid he was either going to be like just out in front, immediately targeted for going with that same strategy, or he was going to be more in a situation like Kevin's in, where he's on the outs and people are just not really
They know I'm here,
seriously
Rebecca.
that way.
There's no way
So,
they don't.
I feel very proud of Enzo for improving his game. Much love from me. Ian, on the other hand, I feel
So,
like
Windsor,
even though
next
this
let's
is
get you
not
on.
a
Yeah,
drop
thank you for
really
watching.
for you,